Hey guys, Saxy here, and welcome back to another AIC championship race with our first road course of the schedule. But that doesn't mean it's less entertaining. I actually think this is going to be more entertaining than how Phoenix was. Phoenix field was spread out from doing testing in this. The field stays together, which is obviously weird for a road course, but it's what it is. Also, there have been issues with them pacing, so there will be no pace laps in this. It will just be from the grid like it is right here, so it could make laps a little funky. Speaking of, I meant to actually update this. We were originally going to run 25, but we're actually going to do 35. I'm adjusting it, make it a little bit longer for you guys. But anyways, before we get going, Chris is on pole tonight. And to his inside, because how everything is lined up for this, it is Casey. Row 2 ends up being Jay and Ryan. Row 3 is Spades and Smity. Then it's Crimson and Feedbajan. Then it is Colin and Taffi. Then it's Ricky, Julia, Juan, and rounding out the field is Jelly. So we got one Kyle Busch in first and one Kyle Busch in last. But don't let them deter them, as we are about to let this thing go. Green flag as they make it to the line. Chris leads the green, as this is going to get very interesting very quickly. 14 cars at a road course, and we've already hit leg turn 1 lap 1, and which means I'm turning these off. Let's see if that helps at all. And your pole sitter is already dropped back to third, as a 31 is going to take the race lead away. I debated switching the lines, but that would have gotten really confusing for me. I did that for a few of the practices, and it just did not work out well for me thinking. So I just stuck with how it's supposed to be. But, I mean, it's really not going to determine how this thing ends up finishing. It's so random with these things, because it's not like proper racing lines and whatnot. As you can see, the cars are hitting bumps. They are flying in the air. Crimson almost lost it in the back. I saw it there. As here comes Ryan looking to the inside, going into the second and final turn here, trying to take the race lead away from Casey. Side by side to the final turn. I believe Casey's going to be able to hold him off for now. She will. Covers off the 88, and now here comes the 48, battling with the 88 now. Going into turn 1. So far, so good for the 3 Chevys out front. Chevy has not yet got a win this season. Every win has been handed to Julia or Colin, which is the Ford for Julia and a Toyota for Colin. So Chevy looking to try to get their first win here tonight, because they have the numbers. So it is absolutely, the numbers are stacked in their favor here tonight and every single week. They have the number advantage, and it just has not worked out well for them at the plate tracks and at Phoenix. Right now, it's looking very good, though. Smity now takes the race lead. Whoa, big wiggle in there. That's definitely going to cause some issues throughout tonight, so be prepared for that, as they're 3 wide behind the race leaders. 24 making a peek to the inside of the 48. That could be a lead change there, and the Toyota has found their way to the front already. Not what the Chevys wanted to see was a Toyota in the ranks up here up the front. Getting some help from a Chevy even. Whoa, but they maybe got too much help there. Got shoved wide. Now the 45 to the race lead. It is definitely getting interesting. We've had side-by-side battles for the race lead every lap so far, and it's probably going to stay that way till the finish. As we're going to cycle up to try to find the race leader. Can I find? There we are. And by the time we get to the race leader, I don't think they're going to have it for much longer, because here comes Casey down back to the inside with help from Taffi. That 24 has found a good rhythm there again. Now Jay has found his way up here. So multiple Toyotas now finding their way to the front. But as it stands, it's looking like the 7's going to take the race lead potentially here off the final turn. Side by side. Nope, not anymore. The 7 is clear. The 7 takes the race lead. As your points leader is all the way back in second to last, so a not good day so far for the number 19, but it's only a few laps in. Things can dramatically change. He's going to hope that he can start heading in the right direction because he will lose that points gap that he has right now over second place very quickly if he finishes back there in even one race right now. Yes, we're only a few races into the playoff, not the playoffs. Why did I say playoffs? I meant the actual season. What is wrong with me? Either way, we're only a few races in, but every point matters, knowing that each position is worth 5 points. You could end up losing the title by 5 points. You could even lose it by 1 point based on poles and fastest laps. The bonus points could end up playing a factor of who wins this title. Oh, as the two Toyotas fighting it out now out front, Jay has found his way up to second place at the outside of the 24. The outside line is definitely the weaker of the two when it comes to that final turn. That's going to allow that 24 to take the race lead. And Spades is probably going to take it right back as well, as here comes Julia, the Daytona winner. 4 wide behind the race lead. As they now cycle it down to 3 wide, but that was getting sketchy. As you do see Colin there, actually does make up some ground here. Still 3 wide. Julia, no help, and the others have a little bit of a push from behind. Oh, it is tight through the bus stop. You see all the cars 3 wide behind the race leaders as they starting to get it sorted out, at least attempting. As we're trying to cycle our way up here to the race leader. Clear out front is the 45. No side-by-side battle this time by into the final few turns. Spades able to break away a little bit in the later parts of the lap where they were 3 wide behind them. That means they're going to easily lead this lap, but I don't know about the next one. Smity and Casey have both been pretty quick to get back up to this leader. Oh, that's terrifying to look at in the background. As they do sort it out, I was going to see if there was going to be a crash wreck here. It looked like there was going to be. There still might. They're 4 wide. Kept it clean. I am genuinely shocked. But as we're talking about the battle in the back, which ended up with 4 and 5 wide, side by side for the race lead, here comes Smity taking a peek to the inside, going into the carousel. Side by side, here comes Casey following that 48 through. It's a Chevy 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. So they are looking strong here today. They finally have found the power to at least work together, or at least get each other up here together. Right now, the hand goes back to the 31. She's going to take the race lead away and try to drive away, but that's not going to happen. We're trying to cycle up to the race leader. There we are. Oh, and the 31's already gone wide, and that's going to hand a lead right back to that 45, potentially. This is what I meant by it's going to be a side-by-side battle to the finish. This might as well be racing like a plate track, honestly. The field is all still chunked up together, and they are running 4 wide, 5 wide, making passes in places that you would not be able to pass in real life. And that's also partially why I do want to move this over to iRacing if we do another year of this. I would love to. Because, I mean, I don't have iRacing. I would have to buy it and buy tracks and all that. That's the only problem. That's like, money. But I think it'd be worth the investment. Potentially. Either way, 45 is going to come back to the line this time by as your race leader. And now here comes Julia. She has found her way up to the front. Can she stay here now? She is needing some points through a bad Phoenix. And that might be it right there to the race lead. Oh, I forgot to hit the record button. That would help. 8 laps in. Thank you, me. as the lead does get handed over to Julia. So the Ford out front, hoping to see the other Ford find his way up here, and he has. He's sitting right there behind the 48. I believe that's who that is. It is. The two Fords have found their way up towards the front. So both of them showing their muscles here today. They both had very good finishes at the plate tracks. They're hoping to score some points at these non-plate tracks for sure, because that's what most of the season is. Neither one of them can rely on plate tracks, because there's only, I think, 5 in the schedule, which is a good bit for how small the schedule is. Is they're actually going to take 1-2, Ford 1-2, something we have not seen so far this season. The Fords running 1-2 ahead of a bunch of Chevys, and the Toyotas scattered in between. Now Juan to the race lead, in case he's going to follow him through to second place. That's going to be good news, but now here comes Casey with the move, because he blocked off Julia. Feel like that was a bit aggressive of a move that's not going to work in your favor at all. You want to be on the inside for the carousel, not the outside. Yeah, there it is. He's going to fall back to third here, potentially. Smity is flying. Yep, there it is. Third is even gone away from... Or, sorry, he's going back to third. Maybe down to fourth here. Here comes Julia. As the race lead back into 31's hand. It's looking like it is going to be the 31 or 48 who leads a lot today. They've both found their way up to this front, and every time they get wiggled out of the lead, they find their way right back to it. Something that your pole has not been able to do. Chris has not been back up here to the lead since the green flag was dropped. He's been dropping like a rock. As you see, he's last across the line last time by. And Juan back to the race lead through the first few turns this lap. Side by side. Now Spades takes the look to the inside, going... sorry, that's the outside. I'm struggling. As the field is still just trying to figure what line they want to run. A big wiggle there for the 25. That's going to drop him back a couple positions. It's a 31 versus the 45. This is going to go the 45's way in these few turns. Unless the 31 can get clear, and she will not. So it's still going to be side by side going through the final turn, and that's going to go to the 45. And now here comes Jay. He's looking to light himself up towards this front. He's wanting to put pressure down on that 45 and the 31. Whoa, Colin in the wall. Saw that in the background there. The 19 slapped the wall off of the exit of 1 as they're 3 wide in the back. But here comes Jay looking on the back bumper of Spades. Now to the outside. Side by side for the race lead. As I believe this is going to go the way of Spades, because that's still like the worst area to make that type of pass right there that Jay made there. That line just does not work. So that's going to mean he's going to fall back a couple positions, potentially. Oh yeah, the two Fords are now lined up to his outside and trying to roll around him. Still no crash yet this episode. Still no crash yet for this race. The Spades lead them across the line, but here comes Julia. Big dive down to the inside. Juan follows her through. And now it's the Fords 1-2 as we're trying to cycle our way up to him. Oh, big look there from Juan. He's going to make the move to the right side of his Ford teammate. And now look who's made his way back up here. Chris has finally found his way back towards the front after 12 laps of just kind of being in the back. How long will it last, though? We've seen a lot of drivers fade pretty quickly when they get up here. I don't know if it's gonna. At least not for this lap. I think he's actually gonna lead it. He didn't even lead the opening lap. That went to the 31. I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering correctly. I wasn't really paying a whole lot of attention to that. But Chris will finally get to lead a lap. Almost halfway through this race as now here comes Jay down to the inside. Toyotas now take the top 2 spots. What we thought a race that was going to be dominated by Chevys is now starting to look like it could be anybody's game at any point. I mean, it still can change and go right back into Chevy's hand, but I don't know if it will. The Fords have kind of found their way up here and have kind of stayed up here. And some of these Toyotas have found their way up here. They haven't really stuck, but they're attempting. That's for sure. As here comes the 31 back down to the inside of Jay, trying to take the race lead away. Race lead back in the hand of the 31. Julia up to P2. Here comes Ryan. Haven't really talked much about him today. Or really much this season. He has not really had a crazy season besides leading a good bit of laps. Just not able to capitalize on leading those laps. And that's the same story for the 25 in this series so far. Is led a lot of laps, but has yet to find victory lane. But we've only had 2 winners across the duels, Daytona, Atlanta, and Phoenix. Only 2 winners, so there's a high chance that we get a new one here tonight. Unless Julia and Colin have something to say about that. Watch this entire season go between the 2 of them. Nobody else wins. I think that would literally look so rigged. As it's side by side, Ryan and Julia going into the carousel. Julia hit a bump there. That's going to hand the lead to the 88. He's going to have it pretty comfortably. I'm trying to cycle to him. I guess I could have gone the other way. I don't know. Doesn't matter now. We made it to him. Single file for the front 3, then it's a battle side by side for 4th. Whoa, the bumper to the back of the 88! Here comes the 41, side by side, race to the line. It's gonna go to the 41. Julia moved Ryan for the race lead. That was crazy. I was not expecting that. She got the bumper out and moved them. I mean, it makes sense for what car she's driving. What? It makes sense for what car she's driving. Sam Mayer is very much known to be aggressive, so hey, it fits. As now she's got a comfortable lead and they're battling side by side behind. Ryan has fallen back a couple positions now after that contact in the last corner. Went from being P2 now all the way back to, I believe that's P5. Yeah, he might lose even more. He's going to be on the wrong side of the track going into the final turn. Whoa, a big slide out of the 45. Puts it back too wide for P2. But now Jay's able to clear with help from the 18. Toyota's working well together on that inside line, trying to get themselves moving forward to the back end of this 41. Jay all over the outside of the track, almost into the wall there. Maybe lost the back end. On exit, slid it out wide, had to. That's going to hand the position over to the 18. Chris has found his way back up here. Again. We've completed 15 laps without any sort of crash, which I would say is our longest stretch, but it is not. We went an entire race in Phoenix without a caution. They ran it green to the end. I wonder if they can do that 2 races in a row. By the way, I have not adjusted their aggressiveness. You can see that they are making very bold moves. It's where it spawns them at. It's right in the middle. I'm not going to make it too aggressive where they're going to be wrecking every lap, but I'm not going to make it 0 where they just run in lines. I mean, it worked for Atlanta, but that would not work here. Anyways, Julia's lead is starting to become less and less as the cars behind starting to close up. Uh-oh. And we finally hit another lag spike for the first time. And now here comes the 45 down the inside, side by side for the race lead. As now Spades finds their way back to the point out front with some help from the 33. Why are we getting lag out of nowhere? We were fine for how many laps without any? Now here comes the 33. Can I please see? Why are we lagging now? We gotta cycle our way to him. Now here comes Ricky. Ricky also has not been a factor this entire race. They've found something here for this, at least this short little bit. I think we've pretty much seen most of the field find something for at least a lap to contend for leading. There's a handful that have not, like Crimson has just not had a good race so far. But that could change. I think the only other person would be Colin. Those two are the only ones we have not seen up here. Everybody else has at least fought for the lead for a lap. As now Ricky does take the race lead away. Single file behind him. Spades makes the move. Does not want to let that 17 lead any bit longer. Do not blame him. Ricky is very much known to be a wreckfest, to say the least. Sorry, not sorry, Ricky. You know it's true. Because now Spades is clear for the race lead. Ricky's going to want to pounce back on this inside line here, but that's going to put him out of line for the final turn, which is not going to help him at all. And that's going to put Spades clear out front for the race lead. Still getting a little bit of lag. Spades is probably going to lose the lead here in turn one. It looks like probably the 33 is going to make a move, and he does. That's what I was expecting there. A big move from the 33. Whoa! Right in the curbs to the point where he almost wrecked it there. If Julia was any bit further, it would have been a different story there. 33 would have been in the wall. Which is what happened in qualifying. Why he was in last. He ended up wrecking out of qualifying on his own. No help in those S's. Same story, just wrote it just a little too hard. That sounds crazy out of context. Whoa, we might get our first crash! And we do! Ricky into the wall! Caution flag will wave for the first time here tonight. And possibly the only time. Side by side for the race lead. It's going to go to the 41 over the 33. As now they're going to race it back to the line fully. Julia leads them. And we will get a quick re-rack. And then up ahead, Spades to get that line, and then just comes back across the track, and boom, Ricky in the wall, along with the 7. All right, we are back and ready to go green. I'm not going to waste too much time. We're just going to hit the green flag here. Let them roll. As it is going to get a bit wonky with the laps. This would be kind of like the pace lap, but I mean, obviously it's not going to be, but I can't do anything about that. It is whatever. As the 33 does take the race lead away. Now here comes Crimson for the first time tonight. Or today, technically. It is daytime in the game. I'm filming those at night, so like I always do. But not like that's really going to matter. Crimson now to the race lead for the first time here tonight. That means Colin is the only one not to fight for the race lead. He's got to find his way up here quickly if he wants to score those bonus points at all. Well, I mean, that really doesn't matter if you're leading for bonus points. It's just set fastest lap. It's whatever. He needs to get up here, though. He needs these points to maintain this points lead, but it doesn't look like Crimson's going to lead the lap. Here comes Chris. Chris takes the race lead. As Ricky is 1 lap down, which is going to really hurt him. If we go green to the end, that means he finishes last no matter what happens. Unless there's a crash on the final lap. I will say that. Let me say that part before I forget that. Chris versus Jay now. Jay and Chris have been kind of stuck together. Whenever one moves backwards, the other one moves backwards. When the other one moves forward, the other one moves forward. Where was Jay? There we are. All right. Now Jay to the race lead with Chris with a compromised line through the carousel. Side by side behind the 54. He's going to block. Puts the block on the 18. Now we just got to make sure that 45 doesn't send him here in the final turn. He doesn't get sent, so he's going to be able to lead a lap. But he's going to lose it here in turn 1. Left that bottom open for the 45. And here comes Spades right back down to the bottom. To the race lead. 3 wide potentially there. Julia with a little bit of a wiggle. 3 wide behind Jay. As let's try to cycle our way up to the race leader. Now Spades is going to feel pretty comfortable here with them side by side behind them. Going into the bus stop. Here comes Julia. Never mind. I thought Spades was going to be pretty clear, but, I mean, Julia has got the pace to challenge for this lead pretty easily right here. By the end of this lap, I think it might go back into the hand of the 41. I keep forgetting to do that move. Let me do that again. I'm missing crucial laps. Oh, well. Oh, it looks like there's some damage on the 17 in the back. So there may have been some contact back there. Let's actually go kind of investigate that. Let's go look. Yeah, Ricky. Ricky's got a bent-in nose. Don't know what happened there. I'm not seeing any other car with damage, so I think it may have been self-inflicted, and we won't be able to find out because I forgot to turn on the record button. Oh well. It'll be alright. We'll survive without that little bit of footage. Now it's side by side between the 45 and the 41. The 41 made the wrong call of move there. Wrong line. You needed to be on this inside for these couple corners. And now here comes Jay, trying to challenge for a second. Not able to get it there. But could he get the run here on the straightaway to make that peak out? Don't think he's going to be able to, but he might be able to move her like she did Ryan earlier in the race. He does, but he does it in the wrong corner. He needed to wait one more corner like Julia just did there. Deeps in by the 41 to the race lead. Those are the moves that get people the race lead and win. That's the reason why Julia has got 2 wins to her name for this season. Only 1 behind Colin, and nobody else has won. While other people trying to prove why they deserve a win. Here comes Jay rallying back. He's going to try to take the race lead away from the 41. He should be able to get her clear through the bus stop. And he will. So that's a good move there for Jay, but Jay's going to get a move made on him. Here comes the 45 to the race lead. As soon as Jay got the move made, the move gets made on him. You have to make those moves quick and hope you can hold on just a little bit so you don't get driven through or past. As here comes Julia again with a deep lunge in the final turn. Julia is really making it well known that she is going to send it down the inside for the race lead on that final turn. 11 laps remaining, so laps have definitely gone down pretty quickly here. Even with the caution for Ricky, the field have definitely kept it very clean, and it's definitely not looking in Ricky's favor now. There's still time for another caution. I just don't see it happening. I think that's going to be another last place for that 17. Side by side for the race lead. Here comes the 7. At the perfect opportunity, but I don't know. Will the 7 maintain it through the end of the carousel? That's where Jay had the move made on him. Just because you led into the carousel doesn't mean you're going to lead out. Because you see, Crimson was looking there, trying to look around the outside for the race lead of the 7. Jay going to get to the back bumper of the 08. That's going to move the 08 to the inside of the 7. Brilliant move there by Jay. Set that up for Crimson. Now Crimson will lead a lap. 10 laps to go. Not a whole lot of time left. Oh. Track getting a little crazy there through the exit of 1. Maybe some tire wear there for the AI. Obviously not. There's not actual tire wear, but, you know, just whatever. A bunch of sliding through turn 1. It's going to mean the front 2 have a little bit of a gap and can race each other a little bit harder here into the bus stop. As here comes Julia with a deep lunge. She is really showing her hand here tonight. She really wants this win bad. She does not want this one to slip out of her hands. To the race lead goes the 41. And it's side by side behind. She's going to hope they hold side by side going into the final turn so that way she can breathe a little bit easier. No! The 7 sent it down the inside. 7 learned from Julia. And it'll be Taffi who leads it across the line that time by. You know what? I'm actually going to watch Crimson's POV from this. Because she is going to make the move up to second place. As you see Colin now finally has found something here late. He's up to P4. Maybe if you can see. There we go. Oh, Crimson. Bold move to go to the outside, but it's not going to work. We've seen Jay make that move and a couple others, and it's just not worked. The other line just gets such a better exit here into the carousel and just sets them up perfectly. Can I get the leaders, please? Thank you. Now, Colin's at second on this outside line going into the final 2 turns. That's going to play very beautifully in his hand. If he can get a run here, he might be able to make a look. No, he doesn't. He actually is going to... Oh, he has the look made on him by the 08. The side-by-side ends up with the 41 to the race lead. As the laps are winding down, every move is going to matter here. Colin getting put 3 wide now to the outside. That's going to drop him back big time. He didn't even get a chance to have a look for the lead. As now the 41 pretty well clear of the 08 now. Ford and Toyota still want to keep this between them without a Chevy win. And right now Julia's doing a good job of maintaining that. Keeping the 08 and 7 right behind. She's wondering where that 25 is to help her out here. Or one of the Toyota drivers to get back up here. Because Colin was up there and then just dropped back like I said. Oh, here comes the move from Crimson. But it's the wrong corner at the wrong time. That's going to send her backwards. Maybe not far, though. 7 wasn't able to capitalize. Into turn 1. Julia still out front. That 41 looking strong here late. I thought it was going to be the 31 or the 48 or the 45 that was going to be in the lead at this point, but it's actually none of them. Matter of fact, the 31's back in 10th, and then right in front of her is the 48. The only one that's up towards the front that I thought was going to be up here is that 45. But still, it is Julia out front, but Crimson all over the back bumper. Oh, Oh, here comes Crimson with a move. And that's actually going to be a pretty good move there. If she can maintain the side-by-side, she's not. And that's going to hand it right back to Julia. Julia playing it perfectly these last few laps to keep the lead away from that 08. 6 laps remain. Here at Watkins Glen is, oh, here comes the 45 with the move on the 08. Colin's found his way back up here, side by side with Juan behind. Moves are getting crazy. Let's see, where does the 45 make the look? There's the look! Julia not going to block it. I think Julia knows that there is still time for it to cycle back out into her hand. Especially if that 45 makes a mistake. Oh, but this is not going to help. Crimson got a fairly good exit. Whoa! Sliding all over the track was that 41, hitting that bump. Now the Chevys have found their way back up towards the front. Coming down to 5 laps to go. Crimson does the deep dive into turn. What number is that? I don't know. The final turn. I don't know how many corners, or at any road course pretty much. I don't really care to count corners. And sometimes it's weird. It doesn't matter. Less about me and more about the cars on track. 3 wide for third. Now 3 wide for second. That's going to allow Crimson to have a very comfortable lead up front. That 3 wide is definitely going to hurt some of these lines. Like, Spades is not going to have a very good entry here. Very compromised as we're getting a lot of lag. Through the carousel. Smity all over the back bumper of the 08. Juan, the first non-Chevy, riding in third. He wants to put himself in that winner bucket. Only 2 others have won. Well, only 2 drivers have won, not 2 others, but right now it's looking like we're going to get a third. Side by side for the race lead. Now Smity is going to take that race lead away. It's a little bit of a breakaway there from third, first, and second. They're going to break a little bit of a gap back to fourth. How long does that last, though? That is the big question. It's side by side for second. That's going to hold them up. That's going to allow that 48 to get a little bit more clear. Juan is really wanting to put himself into that winner group. Real life Juan, by the point of this being recorded, has yet to win a race. So he is definitely, if he's watching this, which I hope they're watching this, I mean, they're the ones who signed off on this and allowed me to do this. They would be watching this. Hopefully he's going to see himself win at some point this season. Hopefully we get to see all of them win at some point this season, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. There's 14 cars in about 20-ish races. There's a chance, but it's definitely going to be a bit hard when we have repeat winners so early in the season. As 3 laps to go, top 3 still have a little bit of a breakaway. As Colin and Spades trying to chase them down. Oh, Juan gets pushed out to the outside by the 08. That was a big move there. Crimson getting the elbows out, trying to race as aggressive as possible, but that's allowing Smity to keep this race lead. You don't want to be making those type of moves here late. You want to get to the race leader before you make those moves. Let the leaders fight it out, and then you just pick up the scraps and drive away into the sunset, away from the 2 that were fighting. Crimson all over the back bumper of that 48. Through the exit of the carousel. Top 4 pretty much on top of each other. Here comes Crimson with a move to the outside. Is it going to stick? I don't think it is. It does not. Crimson going to ride right behind that 48, coming down to 2 laps to go. Final time for a caution. Ricky's going to be hoping for somebody to go around here. or multiple cars to go around. And here comes Crimson down on the inside for the race lead. Bold move there into turn 1. And it's actually going to clear for the race lead. Oh, we missed her there. Here comes Colin here late. He wants to go 3 in a row. Can he do it? Or will Juan, Crimson, and Smity spoil that for him? Into the bus stop. Oh, big curb hop there by that 48. Juan all over the back bumper of his friend. 19's up to second, but I don't think he's going to maintain that. Juan gets the look side by side for second. That's going to allow Crimson to have a very comfortable lead going into this final few turns. And that means that 19, unless he can clear Juan, he's not going to be able to, is going to drop a couple positions here. Coming back to the white flag, 1 lap to go. Crimson leads him to the white. Juan P2, Colin P3 as it stands going into turn 1. Will we get a Chevy first win here at Watkins Glen? Or will they have to wait another week to get that first victory here? Juan's going to be putting the pressure down on this 08, like big time here, going on the back straightaway. He's got to time this move perfectly. Here he goes. Now takes the look for the race lead. As we try to cycle up to him, we miss him there. Side by side, the 25 and the 08. It still can go to third if it gets a little too crazy here, but I don't think it's gonna. I think Juan might have its own. Colin two-wheeling it. It's a battle between the 08 and 25. Who makes the mistake? Oh, I think Crimson made it there. Too early of a move. Juan is going to come home victorious here in Watkins Glen. Able to hold off Crimson in the final lap. That is a big win. Chevy still yet to get a win, and both Fords have found victory lane. Good job to Juan. And we're going to go look who has the fastest lap, who gets the bonus point. It goes to Ricky, so despite him finishing last, he does get the bonus point, so that's good for him. All right, well, that's going to be everything here from Watkins Glen. If you haven't, go check out the previous races. Obviously, I talked about who won, but go watch those for entertaining races. Go watch the rest of the season. If you want to see my friends actually drive race cars, well, not real race cars, but virtual race cars here on Roblox. Yes, it's Roblox. I know. I hate it, but it's the only way we can get people to do things. Go check out the main channel. We do a lot of races, and we're allowing you guys to come in and join us. So please join the Discord. We want you guys to come race with us. We want to see you guys come out and show support for us. And we want to be able to support you guys. So please do that. Check out the Twitch for when I do stream things live. This will be Saxy signing out. See you guys next time. Bye, guys. Stay crossing off my list. Got my money in my bitch. That's a check. Got my mama at the crib. Could retire off of this wrist. That's a check.